What is up, everybody? Keith Jamison, go by Gator Guy 231 across the DFS industry. Final semifinal coming up tomorrow. France and Morocco. Croatia did not show up today. Some really terrible errors in the first half. Just couldn't come back from there. Messi is going to be in the final. Pretty awesome. So I think, we'll talk about it in a minute, but we're probably just going to see a Messi and Mbappe final, which is going to be pretty awesome television and, probably one of the better matchups we had in some time. So let's get into it. Quick reminder, like, subscribe, comment. We only got, two of these left probably. This one and then the final. Maybe the consolation game will be part of this one, but I don't know how hard I'm going to attack the consolation game. We'll see. Stay tuned. Make sure you subscribe to that channel so you can stay tuned. Anyhow, let's talk about this. Let's just go at the top, and not much to talk about. Griezmann and Mbappe are just going to kind of be plugs in any sort of optimal build. The only way you're getting off of them is to get off of ownership in GPP. So, doing something like, like a Dembele or a Giroud. Maybe it's only like a 1-goal game and you fade. Griezmann only does like 8 or 9 floor, doesn't get a goal or assist. You play, Mbappe, Giroud, and Dembele together. You get the goals that way. Maybe that's how you do something like that, but there's no way off and optimal. There's just going to be too much salary at the top end for like cash builds to not play Mbappe and Griezmann. Griezmann has right now monopoly set pieces, and then Mbappe has taken a share of set pieces in the past, but he's just been really, he and Messi, the best players in the tournament. Mbappe coming off of a rough game. Do think that he kind of bounces back here. I do think in GPP I like the Mbappe fade. He's just going to be the highest owned player on the slate. With him losing some corners to Griezmann lately, and really last game losing all the corners. I can't remember if he took one sporadic, but Griezmann's taking majority of the corners. That Mbappe Florida does go down quite a bit, and then he's going to be on Hakimi's side. Hakimi's been very good in this tournament. It's actually going to pinch Hakimi back a little bit more, so he can't be so-called as marauding forward and crossing. Hakimi his teammate too, so maybe he knows a few things from training. I think that's probably the GPP fade, just pure leverage. He doesn't get a goal or assist. He gets that, 5 to 7 DK, and you're lapping the field because Mbappe's going to come in probably like 70-80% in GPP. So that's how I attack that. And optimal, I think after those two is just a really big drop off to Giroud and Dembele being like the next two. Giroud's going to be goal dependent. Dembele does have a floor. I do prefer Dembele quite a bit over Theo Hernandez. I think the conversation becomes with Morocco really likely to be pinned back. If you watch that Portugal game, they kind of got fortunate on the one cross, somewhat misplayed by Diogo Costa, scored a goal, and then they just bunkered back. Morocco's been really good defensively the entire tournament, hasn't been as great offensively. I don't think that France is all of a sudden going to present them an opportunity to be super aggressive offensively. So it's really hard to target the Morocco pieces. I think I have like Lloris, Dembele in some sort of order, then like Giroud, and then dropping down to Ziyech for my next favorite kind of like optimal type of build. I don't know if this is necessarily a game that's going to set up for Ziyech. He came out hot versus Portugal, but as soon as they got the lead, he bunkered down, and I don't think he really scored a DFS point in the second half. And that's what we've kind of seen the whole tournament with Morocco, is like if the game is somewhat going their way, then Ziyech, kind of just is more timid, and they're not generating a ton of corners, so it's hard for him to get the DFS production. But if you want to play like I'm trying to think the right way to say it, if you want to play like a game script where, France is up right away, then Ziyech could also eat. It's just hard to see. Just hard to tell because from a possession standpoint, France could really have, a 60-65% possession share here versus Morocco. With Morocco just kind of playing that really gritty defense, trying to keep this low scoring and just get them on the counter. So that's kind of what I think is going to be the game plan for Morocco here. I mentioned Theo Hernandez. If it really is a bunkering mentality for Morocco, he does have a chance to get forward. We've just seen in the later stages of the tournament that France is going to fall into the Deschamps' role of being very pragmatic and very cautious, first and foremost. Like, the craziest thing about France is because of so much attacking talent. The fact that they have Griezmann, Dembele, and Mbappe as that attacking three with Giroud as the target man, it doesn't make the fullbacks need to get involved. So you can play Koundé, you can play Jules Koundé, who's not an attacking right back, and then Theo Hernandez, who's physically gifted, can be an attacking left back. It also allows him just to go, Theo, I just need you to be a little bit more, cautious in when you're going to charge forward. I don't need you to be swinging at a ton of crosses. Now, if all of a sudden it's the 80th minute, 0-0, you might start seeing, Theo Hernandez tossing crosses, getting into the box, mixing it up because France, is going for the win at that point. Tchouameni's going to be a little bit too expensive outside of the goal. He really didn't do much last game. Rabiot, same deal. They're fine as like GPP, YOLO, not going to be, super high owned, but I think you'll be surprised by the ownership that both those guys will get because they've had some decent logs. France is favored, -175. I think people will go there. Not a really big fan of Koundé here. I already talked about him not being really an attacking right back. Let's just flip to the other side for Morocco. By far the best play is Ziyech. Hakimi's going to get some ownership here. I think Hakimi, I personally think he's a dreadful play. Just because he's on that Mbappe side, he's not going to have license to go forward. He's just going to be tucked in so much. He's going to get the occasional time in possession that he's able to get before, but he's going to be looking over his shoulder right away for coverage, and go, oh crap, I got too far forward. I'm about to get killed on the counter. I just don't think he's going to have a lot of license unless they get down 2-0. Then he could actually end up being okay. But if it is like a 0-0 game, I think it's tough. I think Bono could easily be one of the better plays on Morocco. They just haven't been allowing goals the whole tournament. So, if he gets saves, gets attempts, it's not necessarily they could win 1-0. And if he gets 4 saves, 1 conceded, and you get 6 as your Morocco piece, I could look really good. But again, Ziyech's best play, probably Bono from there. And Nesri, Boufal, GPP only. Mazraoui should be back at left back. He's been okay, nothing spectacular. And then that midfield 3 is just grinders. Those aren't guys that we're going to want to target. They've been really good in real life, but not for DFS. So I would stay away from there. Yeah, I think that covers it. That's how I'd go. So if I was building, obviously Mbappe, Griezmann, my first 2. Griezmann probably the better floor, so it'd be first captain. But I think a lot of people are going to choose Mbappe as a cap. And then I think you're really deciding at that point, if you're going to go Lloris, Dembele, lesser extent Theo Hernandez, and lesser extent Ziyech in there for me as well. All right, good luck everybody tomorrow. Look forward to seeing everybody back for the final, and we'll go from there. See you.